How would the ending change if Romeo and Juliet was set in 2021? In Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, no one batted an eye when a young woman would marry a man twice her age. Street brawls were an everyday occurrence, and parties were a luxury for the rich. Now in 2021, everything has changed. Women have an equal say in who they marry. Street fights are often accompanied with gunshots, and the COVID-19 pandemic would have influenced how Romeo and Juliet met. Now, is the idea of marriage realistic to a teenager? When Romeo and Juliet got married, Juliet was only 13. She was still considered a child. To Romeo's marriage proposal, Juliet replied, "If thy bairn's love be honorable, thy purpose marriage." From this reply, one can see how naive Juliet is as she accepts a marriage proposal on a whim without thinking it through. Adolescent marriage is rarely accepted today. In contrast, it was completely normal during the time Romeo and Juliet took place. However, now it would be not only against social norms, but would also be unethical. The Canadian law states that anyone under the age of 18 cannot get married without their parents' or guardians' consent. If this play were to be set in this generation, Romeo and Juliet's marriage would never have been very likely since neither had their parents' consent. In present time, forced and arranged marriages is not what society deems as normal in most places. Juliet is forced by her father into marriage with whom she does not love. Lady Capulet tells Juliet, "Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee a joyful bride." This would make the family an outcast in society. Others would frown upon the marriage, and some might even express their contempt. It is crucial to consider the significance of our current world crisis for this updated tale. How would the global epidemic play a role in the plot? Well, it would have altered virtually the entire plot. Without the presence of the ball, due to COVID-19, Romeo and Juliet would have never met, meaning Romeo would have persisted his love for Rosalind. Mercutio insisted Romeo went to the ball. "Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance." With COVID-19, a gathering of any size would not be allowed. Nowadays, it is normal to be physically distanced and to be wearing a mask. The pandemic has forced a change in social norms, meaning the ball would never have taken place because of the fines being distributed. An Ontario homeowner who hosted a birthday party that nearly had 24 people attended is now facing an $880 fine. This emphasizes how COVID-19 has changed social norms today, as the idea of huge gatherings is now illegal and also immoral. Would the use of weapons in the Shakespearean era be unrealistic today? Because of the improvement in technology, many street fights are now accompanied with guns. In the play, Tybalt and Mercutio duel with swords, but today they would probably be having a gunfight. Here is how the two compare.
I am for you.
Now, Mercutio, I beg you, put your sword down!
Come, sir. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Mercutio, stop! Cavallio, help me hold them back!
As seen here, it can be proven that gunfights are way more lethal than sword fights. This decade has already brought about many new social norms. The plot of Romeo and Juliet would change with many other norms in our society as our society continues to progress at a rapid pace. Although marrying below the age of 18 is lethal with the consent from a parent and or guardian, it is morally wrong and overwhelmingly frowned on in modern society. Romeo and Juliet would have never had the opportunity to get married since neither had the consent from their parents. Moreover, the freedom of choosing a partner to lead is seen as a right, not a privilege. Due to the current climate surrounding COVID-19, Romeo and Juliet would not have met at the Capulet Manor since this party would have been illegal. virtually altering the entire plot since the two lovebirds would have never met. Lastly, all fights in the play would change because of modern weapons and how violence in general has evolved to be less honorable. For better or for worse, society has moved forward and will continue to do so with or without the approval of any individual, and Romeo and Juliet is just one out of the many examples. Thank you.